Biden's handling of the economy has been so amazing, so explosively fantastic, such a phenomenal, out-of-control improvement that it has caused the country to implode in a black hole of awesomeness, resulting in inflation and triggering a not-really recession that isn't actually an economic disaster, but is simply us coming down from such unsustainable success. Or at least, that's how one economist tells it, actually expecting us to believe that the sky-high inflation rate and unmanageable gas prices and double-digit grocery increases and stroke-inducing energy bills, that's all just because Biden was just too good at creating jobs. No, really. The left thinks that you are that stupid. Or maybe just they are. So I don't know what drugs this dude is on. Maybe he's been sharing Hunter's crack pipe or something, because this has to be the single dumbest thing that's been said since the last time Kamala Harris opened her pie hole, which was yesterday.
While we send our prayers and our love, we also, with each day, renew our commitment to the urgency of now and the ability that we have collectively, all of us in it together, to do something about it.
Paul Krugman, economist and left-wing water toter extraordinaire, wants you to know that the Biden administration is definitely to blame for the current kinda sorta, depending on your definition, recession, but only because the president was just too good and America simply couldn't handle it. Really. The Biden presidency, in fact, has been so utterly fantastic at creating new jobs, springing us back like an overstretched rubber band from the edge of a COVID-filled pit of despair, that the president, who can't remember his own name, has now broken the country with his sheer awesomeness. The problem may be that the Biden economy boomed too much, feeding inflation, and that it now needs to cool off, which may involve a recession, but hasn't yet, Krugman posted on Twitter, along with a chart claiming that the Biden administration has been responsible for creating 9 million new jobs since the president first took office. The vast majority of those being jobs that returned following the government-mandated shutdowns of businesses to protect grown adult Americans for the threat of a deadly virus with a 99% survival rate. But never mind the details, or the facts. Biden's butt was in the seat when some 9 million people went back to work, meaning that he gets the credit for creating the jobs that were there in the first place, were stifled or destroyed entirely thanks to the government, and which were then spurred back by the free market being graciously allowed by our benevolent overlords to open back up to consumers. The basic fact, he says, is that so far the Biden economy has added 9 million jobs. So it has been a jobs boom, whatever else you may say. Basic fact. Oh, the irony. While we're looking at basic facts, it should be pointed out that at its peak, the government's COVID response cost the U.S. economy an estimated 23 million plus jobs, per one report from Georgetown University. But yay for 9 million, I suppose. Of course, restaurants can't find enough employees to save their lives. The service industry is wrecked. We've got a truck driver shortage. We're hurting for nurses and teachers. Can't imagine why. Manufacturing has taken a massive employee hit. But jobs boom! Yay! It could also be pointed out that gas prices have continued to rise under Biden's presidency. Consistently, in fact, and not beginning with the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Put that together with supply chain issues driven largely by the COVID bungle, government stimulus checks and unemployment, a war on energy, and an out-of-control federal bureaucracy that spends money like it's monopoly cash, and you've got a stellar recipe for an inflation cocktail that has nothing at all to do with a Biden boom. Unless, of course, that boom is the sound of the president blowing up the economy. I know this is going to come as a shock to everyone, but you don't just turn the economy on and off like a spigot. Shutting down small and medium-sized businesses for months at a time has an impact. Mandating that truckers get a vaccine they don't want or lose their jobs doesn't help. Remember that $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan Biden signed last year? You can't just fire that kind of dough into an economy that spent the better part of a year shut down and then feign shock when it disrupts the supply and demand cycle. That's like tossing a bomb into the water and then going, holy crap, look, dead fish. And even as Americans struggle to fill up their gas tanks and buy groceries and pay their electric bills, this administration thinks that we should be spending billions upon billions more on climate change to stop it from raining. This is what happens when you've got a president who can barely form a sentence, whose vice president is a walking book of progressive Mad Libs, whose foreign policy reads like a 2-year-old's macaroni art, who wanders around like a perpetually confused turtle, who cares more about plants than people, and who looks ready to keel over at the next light breeze. This is what happens when you have a government that thinks it's the answer to every person's every problem, and that throwing gobs of cash at every crisis will magically fix it, Felix. And you can try to spin it however you want. If there's one thing the American people understand, it's their wallets. And right now, they're coming up empty. Just like the Democrats' solutions. And that's your Reality Check, America. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube and Rumble pages, like us on Facebook and Twitter, and stay sane out there.